Good to see you again. I told you I'd be back pretty quick, and it's true. So, what I wanted to do this time is talk about the Academy some more. If you watched my previous video, that was the one on 40 something, Beyonce turning 40 and 40 something, and how I wrote the book on it and everything. Um, if you haven't watched that, then, obviously I suggest that you do because this is kind of a follow up to that. In that video, I mentioned how 40 something is such a transformational decade for women, which is why I wrote a book about it. 40 something 10 radical lessons for women on how to live and love without losing themselves, which is the key part, right? Too often we give and give and give, and we're, experts at performing certain roles that we forget ourselves and we lose ourselves chasing a relationship, chasing a career, climbing a corporate ladder and then finding out that that's not really the place you want to be. Investing yourself in a relationship and finding out that's not the place to be. Or coming to terms with the fact that your children are now growing up, going off to college or whatever. So your life circumstances are changing, leaving you in this state of flux. And for some people, that can seem really disconcerting and unsettling and even scary. And yes, to all of those things, but also exciting because you get to recreate your life the way you want it, right? There's a new set of freedom that can come with suddenly being tasked with having new options, freedom to think about yourself, right? That's why I wrote 40 something. I mean, I wrote 40 something because it was what I was going through throughout that decade. Really, I didn't think it was going to take me a decade to write that book, but it almost took me the entire decade to write 40 something. Yeah, and I always say it's God's practical joke that I would not be finished with that book until I was 50. So, and like I said last time, if you want to get a free excerpt from the book, you can go to my website, DrDarnise's.com, and you'll see where you can get the free excerpt. So you can, sign up there, get a free excerpt, and then you'll be on my mailing list. And so, you'll stay in the loop for the Academy and other things that I have going on. So just to say, that's just a free excerpt from the book, a free chapter from the book. But you know, I just wanted to follow up in this video to talk about, well, what is the Academy about and all of that kind of thing. Well, it's a place for where I'm focusing on the needs of Black women in particular, because, well, a lot of reasons. Black women have a lot of things to work through in this society. We need our praises, our flowers now, right? There's a stereotype about us being workhorses, the strong Black woman or an angry Black woman, and we need to save ourselves from that. Nobody else is going to save us from those stereotypes. We need to save ourselves from that and carry on in ways that are meaningful and life-giving to us. We want to be in our own authentic purpose. We want to have some joy in this life too. The African American story cannot be one entirely of pathology and suffering and death, right? We have had an extraordinary amount of that throughout our history, but in the last year, right? And it is exhausting. If you're not a Black person, not a Black woman, it's been exhausting for us. And this might not be the place for you, or this particular program might not be the thing that's for you, even though you're a woman and you have your own issues as well that you're working through. But please understand, I'm creating something for Black women because we need it. We need that place that is our place to exhale. That is our place where we don't have to explain anything, where we get to explore joy and love and luxury, just being. And I focus on women at midlife because it's at midlife, 40 something and beyond, where we start to really think about who we are and what and who we can be next. We still have time to pivot and do something meaningful for ourselves. And again, it's for us, it's by us, for us, because there's a lot of systemic things that we live with, a lot of microaggressions in this society, a lot of systemic things that are racist and sexist that affect Black women in very specific ways. And because I am a Black woman, I want to create that space where other Black women feel seen and heard at a very deep, authentic level. So I have created the Authentic Living Academy, Authentic Life Academy. And part of that academy is diamond level coaching with me to help us process a lot of that stuff that has been standing in the way of us focusing on ourselves, focusing on our wellness, our mental health. So it's a year-long program with me where we'll spend, probably the whole 12 months, but specifically the first few months sort of getting our footing because of the onslaught of so much oppression, of so many microaggressions, of finding our footing as Black women, so that following that, the creativity can flow. Because, I speak about being a creative entrepreneur. I'm a creative entrepreneur. That's why I have this particular YouTube channel. I do have another YouTube channel and a whole bunch of other things that I do. But this particular YouTube channel is about giving expression to my creativity as a writer, indulging my love of things, of literature and writing. And for many of us, I know we're also creative entrepreneurs. We have things that we want to do based upon our creativity, or we have a new business that we want to start. So you're entrepreneurially minded, you're creative, you're spiritual, and you want something culturally relevant and specific, a container for all of those things, a container for all of those things, where you can begin to really focus in on what it's going to look like we're going to really do it. By joining the academy, you're going to create the blueprint for how you're going to really do it, how you're going to live that life of authenticity and being on purpose. So by the end of that year, you'll have your blueprint, and you will know, okay, these are the things that I have to work through. Sorry if you're hearing all this noise outside, just cars going by. You'll know where you are. You'll know your stuff that you're working with, like your mindset stuff, the stuff that normally kind of hinders you, right? You'll know, like, oh, I normally get caught here because it's a financial fear, or it's a, feeling like I'm not good enough fear, or, it's, whatever it is, self-esteem. Normally it comes down to fear, self-esteem, self-worth, when you break it way down. And it can look like any number of things, but when you break it way down, it's fear, self-esteem, self-worth kind of issues. So we're going to work through that. You'll have a blueprint, so like when you're hitting that, like it's not even real. It's not even a real fear. It's not a rational fear. Fear is not rational, right? And so you'll have a way of carrying forth even when you hit those roadblocks, right? So that's at the end of the 12 months that you'll have with me. You're like, wow, I really have something where I can go forward now and create it, because this is what fills me up. This is what makes the next stage of my life exciting. I can be passionate about it and not just coasting into retirement. And what does retirement even look like anymore, right? We don't even live in a world where people work in the same company and then they retire and then they sit on their porch, in a rocking chair, or maybe take a trip and then just sit there until they die. Welcome their grandkids and maybe great grandkids. We don't even live in a world like that. Like, people still want to be active and do things. And so for those of us, Black women at midlife, 40 something, 50 something, maybe even your 60s, you're thinking, there's still something more I can contribute, and there's still stuff I'm passionate about, and I just never got a chance to focus on myself enough to do it. That's who I'm here for. I have come to help you out by creating this academy and welcoming you in. It's a place that is life affirming for us. And it's, I've got teachings there. I've got a master class. So all I'm asking you to do here, because I'm not even asking you to sign up for anything right here, right now. I'm just really giving information. But if you're interested, then, put in the comments that you're interested. Send me an email and let me know that, you want to be put on the waiting list, right? Send me, you can write to me here. Let me know, hey, I want to be put on the waiting list. You can, well, I don't want to put my personal information here on YouTube, but just let me know and then we can connect and then I can get your information and put you on our waiting list. But definitely, if you go to my website, DrDarnise's.com, and you put your email information in there, you'll get a free excerpt of 40 something and you'll be on my list. So you'll know. Plus, I'll probably do some other follow-up videos to this as I get closer and closer to launch and let you know exactly how to sign up. But for now, I just wanted to give some information and say why I'm doing this for Black women at midlife, Black women who are at the point of pivoting, repositioning themselves, interested in transformation, interested in, having a coach, a mentor walk with you so you know how to do stuff, because it can be overwhelming, right? Like any of you can, search the internet and find any information, but to teach yourself something from scratch is a lot. And it also means you're going to make mistakes that you don't need to make, right? The benefit of having a mentor, having a coach, is that person can tell you, hey, choose this one over that one. This is why this one is probably better for you than that other option, right? And that's valuable, to have somebody save you time and money. So, I'm just saying, yeah, you can go and find all kind of information on your own, but why do that? Why recreate the wheel when you can be with someone who has already walked that path? And I'm like, hey, and I'm still on it, right? Like, I am still constantly expanding my creative entrepreneurial business. I'm continuing to add and to expand and to grow. And I mean, I'm fortunate because things are really growing for me, but it also means that then there's more on my plate and I need to, learn to delegate better and have a bigger team than I do to help me with the growth. So I'm on the path with you, right? I don't sit in a place like on a great throne and say, well, I figured it all out and this is the one and only way. No, it's like, okay, there's, I've recreated my life a number of times. I've moved across the country at, different times. I've started from scratch over and over. I've dealt with those fears of self-doubt and wondered, how on earth am I going to make this work? Right? Like feeling like a failure because the vision didn't go the way you first had it, the way you first envisioned it, or other people didn't understand. They thought you're crazy. All of those things I've experienced. And I've learned, what are good tools? How do you manage the tech? Right? Because if you're going to create something online, there's a lot of tech to understand. How do you put up your own website? How do you work the back end? There's so many things, but I would give you those kind of resources and tell you this one is good for this and this one is not so great for that, and this is how much money this one is going to cost. And yes, you need to be able to, plan to have some funds available to invest in yourself. Nothing is free. I mean, you may be one of those people who says, well, you can find all this information, online. Yes, you can. As I said before, you can teach yourself anything. You have time like that, and also the time to make the mistakes and then try again. Why? So anyway, I just want, as I said, I want to give you some information so you know what's coming when you start seeing more information about the Academy rolling out. I'll be doing some early bird specials. I'll be, here for you, or Q&A, whatever it is we need to help people feel comfortable about joining the Academy, if that's what you want to do. Find out about the Diamond Level Coaching, which is a part of the Academy, but it's like the upgrade from the basic Academy if you want more and more of my direct input on what it is you're trying to manifest. Because I got you. I know what it is to try to, not to try, to actually walk the walk and create something from nothing, and to suffer various setbacks and keep your vision clear enough that you try again, because it does take that. But if you're a professional woman, especially at midlife, you know how to do that. You have the skill set. And if you're somebody who says, well, I'm just trying to figure it all out from scratch, like maybe you're having to start over after, some really hard knocks in life, some things have happened, and you really don't know which way to go. What about people like me? I'm like, yes, because we're going to spend time, right, the first few months gathering ourselves emotionally and spiritually and mentally, right, getting to clarity, confidence, and courage. By the end of the year, you will have all three. But during the course of the year, we'll be working on clarity. You got to get clear and tell yourself the truth about what it is you really want and what's really been holding you back. And then I'll show you some things where you can start, really putting the vision on, getting clear about it, put it on paper, or writing it up, however you need to do. Here's the first steps to take, so you start feeling confident that yes, you can, and that this does make sense for you, and yes, now is your time, and yes, you can, right? So that's the confidence piece. And then the courage comes because even though you feel pretty confident about yourself, you'll still need courage to carry through, because there's going to always be challenges, there's always going to be naysayers, haters. There'll always be some hater in your ear telling you that you can't do it and why you can't do it. And so you need courage to keep going when things seem bleak or things just don't seem to be going your way. And of course, that's where the diamond level coaching comes in, because then that can continue and help you walk past that. But anyway, let me know what questions you have. That's what you can write in the comment section, what questions you have. Um, Again, let me know if you want more information. You can follow me on Instagram and DM me. That's probably a good place to leave your email address if you really want to get on that list. Um, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at DrDarnise's on Instagram. I go live on Sundays between 6 and 7 Pacific time. So you can definitely, DM me anytime on Instagram and say, hey, I want to know more information about that academy. And here's my email address. And then I can keep you in the loop for that kind of thing. But here in the comments, you can let me know, one, just, hey, that sounds great. I am interested. Or yes, I've been thinking about this for myself. I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. And what are the obstacles? What are the things that you think have been keeping you from doing this? Right? So that's all for now. Please like, share, subscribe, and definitely share with people, with other women who you think might this might align with. Who else do you know? Who else needs to see this video? Who else needs to come into the academy with you? So that's it. Bye for now, and I'll see you soon.